I have some rather interesting comments for you from Valve's Chet Falizek, who discussed the topic of virtual reality when he was at EGX, and basically said that motion sickness isn't the fault of the VR technology itself, but because of the decisions developers make within their game. And basically, instead of going, oh, this VR device is, hampering my experience, according to him, you should blame the developer for poorly implementing virtual reality. And he said, quote, "The idea that VR must get you sick is bullshit. We have people come in who don't want to do demos. In a party of 10 people, there will be someone who says, I'm going to be sick, I can't do this." That expectation is based on either what they've seen before or what they've heard. As consumers and people in the community hold developers to it, they shouldn't be making you sick. It's no longer the hardware's fault anymore. It's the developers making choices that are making you sick. Tell them that you don't want that. Now, of course, we do know a fair bit about the upcoming Vive VR technology, which of course is being co-developed between Valve and HTC, and we know that it uses a lighthouse system, quote unquote, which will let you move in a 5x5 meter space, and according to Falizek, that lighthouse technology is better than the technology being used by the rivals Oculus Rift or even PlayStation VR, as they both use more traditional controls. Now, gamepads, according to Falizek, are basically part of the motion sickness problem, as they don't mimic normal human movement. Now, of course, we do have that weird touch controller thing for the Oculus Rift, but of course without using it, it's hard to say if that will have any impact on the motion sickness issue. Now, I've only played the Oculus Rift Crescent Bay, I believe it's called, the development kit 2, definitely know that. Even if I'm a bit off on the name, definitely the second version of the development kit. I have played that, we have got a version of it at RGT headquarters, and it's pretty good. I don't usually suffer from simulation sickness, and I got momentary sort of vertigo twists to the tummy. Your tummy just sort of go like, just for a second, and that was about it. But even that for me is more than I normally get. So it was a concern. What would I say caused that? Well, I don't know if I'd put it down to the control method. Of course, as this is the Oculus Rift, I was using a keyboard and mouse at the time. It was just, I don't know, it's hard to put my finger on what actually caused it. I think it was just more that I'm not used to it, and of course this was still a development kit with a game that was, of course, in development, so that probably was it. It's definitely the developers of the game and the developers of the device's job to work together and make sure that motion sickness is being minimized on both ends. Motion sickness is definitely going to be the thing that makes or breaks VR. Now obviously this is going to be the first iterations, these devices that are coming out next year. And of course, with any new technology, the first iteration is probably going to be a bit unsteady on its legs. And that's fine, we all expect that, but I just hope that it doesn't kill it before it has a chance to grow. That's my concern. Now, those momentary twists of vertigo were literally just one or two, not even a second, like half a second within like maybe half an hour of play. And that was with a development kit, so I think, I shouldn't be overly worried, but it's definitely something to keep in mind. I don't know if I would put it down to the controls completely, if I'm honest. I don't think that was what caused it. It was just more how the camera was moving and how I looked down a bit too quickly, and because obviously I'm not used to VR, my tummy just kind of went like for a second, and that was the end of it. But of course, I think it's going to vary from person to person. Someone who's more prone to simulation sickness might be like, hey, no, this is what happens. And someone else who's kind of in the middle might be like, no, this is what happens. It's just going to be something that we're going to have to discover together, unfortunately. But it's definitely some interesting comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions on this one, though, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.